gin joints in all the towns in all the world. She walks into mine.
And now, a show for retro movie and TV lovers everywhere. Interviews with some of the biggest stars in showbiz.
It's a big W, I tell you! It's a big W!
Real talk with the Hollywood Kid.
Senator, we're both part of the same hypocrisy. But never think it applies to my family.
With Mike DeStasio.
Can you dig it?
And here's your host, the Hollywood Kid. All right. I never get tired of that introduction, folks. Good afternoon.
Great intro.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us right here on AM 590, The Word. We have a new audience, and we have a lot of legends I'm going to be bringing on the show. Last week, so much great feedback. We had the great Larry King join me.
Oh my God!
Oh, it was great. Oh, it was great. And this gentleman on my headphones is another legend. Okay, our guest this afternoon it received the role of a lifetime playing Monolito Montoya on the Western-themed television show High Chaparral. The role quickly thrust him into the spotlight and made him an overnight international star. He's an incredibly versatile actor and has had an incredible career not only on television but in film as well and on stage. He has appeared in more than 170 film and television shows such as The $6 Million Man, one of my favorites, Barretta, Kojak, Mod Squad, Night Gallery, The Streets of San Francisco, Wonder Woman, and he starred opposite David Janssen in the detective series Harry O. And he has also he also happens to be an Emmy Award winner. We are incredibly honored to have him on the show this afternoon. Legendary actor, folks, Mr. Henry Darrow joins us. Henry, thank you so much for taking the time this afternoon.
That was a wonderful intro because I'd forgotten a number of those shows. I did Wonder Woman.
Yes, you did. I mean, when you ever,
it's nice going back.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it makes my job a lot easier when I look up your resume and I just see that incredible body of work, and it makes it a little bit easier for me. Believe me. And this is a big honor for me. Like I said, Larry King last week and the great Henry Darrow.
Boy, you were starting at the top.
Yeah, I started off top. I mean, this is great. I'm having a blast doing this show, believe me. And as I mentioned in your intro, you've had an incredible acting career, an extensive theater career, and in television as well. Do you remember the point in your life when you said to yourself, listen, I really want to do this full-time. I want to become an actor?
I think there was I was in Manhattan, a school in Manhattan, and there was a teacher named Mrs. Levine. I think I was 10 or 11, and she called my mother in and brought her in and told her that I was very good in all the school plays that we had done and stuff like that. And then she mentioned the fact that I seemed to be able to perform without being afraid or anything, and I would read poems in the class and do things like that. And then it just continued. I mean, I kept doing little things throughout the years, and then I moved to upstate New York, Bedford Village, and they had a small school, and I did plays there, and I did an announcing thing. I think I was about 13 then. I forgot what that was, the Danbury Fair. And so it just continued, and then I went to Puerto Rico, where my folks are from and where I had lived for a while, and continued my acting there. And then it was the Pasadena Playhouse. I was there for 2 years and was able to get a degree in theater arts. And my career began when I graduated. There were a number of people that were in the group. Then there was an acting group from the Pasadena Playhouse. An actor named Monty Markham.
Monty, I had him on the show. I had him on my show.
Yeah. Okay.
Great guy.
And Monty, and then there was director, actor Stu Margolin, and I did a season of repertory at the Playhouse.
And back then, when you were doing the theater work, back then the producers actually went to theaters to scout talent.
The theater, in Hollywood at the time when I was starting, there were a number of theaters, Equity is a union, and there were a lot of small equity theater unions, and that the capacity was 90.
Right.
And so they were just all over the place. And I really got I did about 25 to 40 plays throughout 10 or 12 years until I lucked out with High Chaparral. And that was from a play.
Right. Now,
and the producer of Bonanza saw me in the play by Ray Bradbury, The Wonderful Ice Cream Suit, and 8 months later I was auditioning for a pilot called High Chaparral.
Wow. You almost, it's a funny story. If people, I mean, I read up on you, and it's a really funny story. You actually switched your name to Henry Darrow from your...
that was incredible. I had been using Delgado.
Right, he couldn't find you.
And I got an agent named Carlos Alvarado, and Carlos dealt mostly with Hispanic actors and mostly Mexican actors, and so I got tired of playing similar characters, Mexican characters, and the parts it was nice to be cast as something. And so when I went to do a season of repertory at the Pasadena Playhouse, I changed my name to Darrow. And David Dortor, the producer of Bonanza, saw me in the play that I did there, and then tried to find Henry Delgado, but he didn't know that it was that I had changed my name to Darrow. When I walked in, he said, "God, we've been looking for you for quite a long time." So it worked out well.
Wow.
It worked out well. I did good.
It really did. 98 episodes later, it worked out great.
Yes, exactly.
You mentioned that the Latinos back in those days were if you watch like a Treasure of the Sierra Madre, they played the bandito a lot.
Oh yes, definitely.
And people like yourself and a Ricardo Montalban come around, and you really. Did you feel like a great responsibility for the Latino people as an actor?
Well, Ricardo started a group called Nosotros, which means us, we. And he was voted president of the organization, and I was voted in as vice president. And so we went around the country, schools, universities, promoting the Latino Hispanic actor. And then he did 2 episodes of High Chaparral.
Oh wow!
And Rick was an inspiration all the way around. He represented us very, very well. And then gradually more Hispanics who were in the director field, and then in the acting field, and in the news field, and he helped promote a lot of that. I mean, Tony Quinn, my gosh.
Yes, Rita Moreno.
I worked with Tony on his series. He did a series, I think, called The Mayor.
Wow. Interesting.
And I did an episode there, and then there was...
Rita Moreno, obviously she won the Oscar for
Rita Moreno,
West Side Story.
I did a movie called Summer and Smoke that she was in.
Wow.
And I remember the stage manager said, "Hey, somebody wants to dance with Miss Moreno," and I took about 10 seconds to think about it. And when I raised my hand, another guy already accepted, had grabbed her and was sort of dancing around, and I went, "Oh, damn." And it took some 20 years later,
wow,
from another a series called, I forgot the name of it, but I played her husband. And I told her the story, and she really just got shook up that I had not had a chance to dance with her in Summer and Smoke, and all of a sudden there I was playing her husband in this television series where Tony Plana was one of the stars.
Henry, High Chaparral really, blazed the path for the Latino acting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was the first show.
Dortor did a hell of a job.
Right. It was the first show to feature a Hispanic family alongside an Anglo family in prime time.
Exactly, and we were of the upper class.
Right. And like I said, I mean, they back then those days. I mean, Mexican Latinos are more like the banditos. And
exactly.
Now that's
exactly what happened, and they made my character into a lover leading man, and that worked out great for me.
Talk a little bit about. I mean, I heard he was not wild man, but a bit of a character. Talk a little bit about Cameron Mitchell.
Cam was crazy. He was a crazy man. He had worked with, Clark Gable, Gary Cooper, Spencer Tracy. I mean, it was amazing, and he was a wonderful scene stealer. Sometimes when Mark Slade, who played Blue on the show,
right,
we would work with him in a scene like going into the bar. All of a sudden, he'd push me and Mar to go in first, and the camera would follow us in, and then they would cut and go to Cam in a solo shot of coming in. And other times, then he'd all of a sudden race in first, and the camera would stay on him, and then eventually cut back to us, to the two of us coming in. So he was an expert at doing this kind of stuff, and it was fun working with him.
How did you guys deal with the heat?
To see the horses race, and he was just a good guy to work with. He improvised.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Henry, but you never rode a horse before. Is that true?
That's true. Yeah, I had ridden a horse once in New York.
Central Park.
I think I was 13. I forget how old I was, but I got off the horse, and the horse ran to the stable. And it wasn't until I was in my late 20s, early 30s, doing Chaparral, where the company paid for me to learn how to ride a horse. And so what they did was they took us to some sand dunes where I could actually gallop and not put myself at risk. And eventually I became a better horseman. I mean, there was a magazine called Horse Westman or something like that, Western, and they gave me an award the third year. They're saying, Henry Darrow's acting as Monolito is okay, but his horsemanship has improved over the years. I took that as an incredible compliment.
Yes.
Because I really had worked on it, and the guy who was my double, Carl Petty, he was in his 50s, shorter than I was, but you put on a wig, you put on dark makeup and the wardrobe, and he looks like me.
Yeah, right.
So I learned how to get on and off the horse, getting on the horse as though you're stepping up on a ladder, getting off, keep your back straight, a whole bunch of different little tricks. He taught me how to use a whip. He taught me how to draw a gun. I mean, it was just a whole wonderful process. And to be a cowboy, that was something I had always thought of as a kid.
And
all of a sudden, there I am, doing it for real.
In my opinion, the big thing for success for a successful TV show, even a film, is the chemistry. I mean, you have to have chemistry from not only the actors, but the writers and the actors, and everybody's got to blend.
Absolutely.
If they don't, it could be a bad show.
That's exactly
Talk
what
a little
happened.
bit about the writing.
I know one time the producer, David Janssen, who also produced Bonanza, the guy, Lorne Green on Bonanza, said, "Hey, these guys get all dirty and sweaty. We ought to do that." So they tried one sequence, dirtying Lorne up.
Green.
And no, I don't like it. Let's go back to the way we do things. And so it's worked out well, and we were never in competition because, my gosh, they were on for
oh my God, like 22 years or something.
And we
like
were
that,
on for just 4, but it was great. Those 4 years were wonderful.
Wonderful, excellent. I want to ask you the same question. I actually had Michael Dante on as well. If you know Michael Dante, he's a
yes, I remember him.
I mean, why do you think Hollywood doesn't make westerns anymore?
I'm just assuming that
are they not marketable?
Likes and dislikes are. I mean, at one point in the 50s, there were 15, 20 westerns on.
Right. It was a bonanza of westerns, pretty much.
Oh, it was incredible, and then gradually we came toward the end, but there were shows like Big Valley came toward
Yes.
the end, and then the show with Lee J. Cobb.
Oh, my favorite.
And the Virginian, and a number of shows westerns that came on toward the end of that career. And also, a western is an expensive event.
Right.
You have to have doubles. You have to have wranglers.
Animals,
You
yes.
have to have double horses. It's a whole process, and you have to. I mean, preparation is really important. I don't know how we did a show in 6 days when we would go on location for 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks to Tucson. It's amazing the work that those guys did.
Folks, joining us on the phone is a very talented gentleman, and he's a legend in my opinion. The great Henry Darrow, who played Monolito Montoya in the hit cowboy western High Chaparral. Henry, I want to ask you about today's Latino actors. What are your thoughts on people today? The Banderas.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Banderas is great. He's terrific.
Eva Longoria.
My group was Eddie Olmos, Andy Garcia.
Right, Andy, yes.
We were the same period, and then, Banderas, and then there's even some new guys that are there.
I like Eva Longoria.
I don't know who they are, because basically at this point in my life, for television, I stream shows on Netflix. And mostly the classics.
You do more than I do. The
Crown and the Rain and the Vikings, all those historical kind of shows.
Talk about how you felt at the 50th reunion of High Chaparral. How did that feel, being surrounded by so many castmates?
Oh, say that again?
You guys just recently had the 50th reunion for the High Chaparral.
Oh, that was wonderful. Sue and Kent McRae, they worked with Michael Landon on different shows of his, but they threw a wonderful blast. And of the 11 regulars that we had that started the show in 1967, there were just 4 of us still alive. Linda Crystal was still around, and she wasn't comfortable people seeing that she had become a little older. She didn't like that.
Wow.
Fans wouldn't see her as she used to be. And then, oh my gosh, Life and Cam died, and then there was Rudy Acosta on the show. And then Mark Slade is still alive, but he doesn't go to these events. But he collects his residual checks, sure.
Henry, you have a wonderful book out called Henry Darrow, Lightning in the Bottle. Folks, you can pick it up at henrydarrowbook.com. You can also get it on Amazon. And go to henrydarrow.com as well.
Oh, good. I didn't remember. I didn't know.
Yeah, I got you. henrydarrowbook.com. It's a wonderful book. I believe it came out in 2012, and it's an amazing.
It really did well. Jan Pippins was extraordinary in writing those short little venues for me, and the different people that I met and worked with. All of that turned out great. And then being forced to remember things. I think it took about a year and a half to get it down, but it worked out terrific.
Henry, you mentioned Ricardo Montalban earlier. He was a very dear friend of yours. In 2012, you received a Lifetime Achievement Award. How did that make you feel?
That was terrific. It was really something to be remembered with his name and the award. I forgot where it was. I
think it was a Latino.
Oh, yeah, okay, the Latino Award. Yeah, and I got a golden statuette, etc. And it just turned out terrific. The whole event was wonderful, and it was like the 50-year reunion.
Right.
They really put themselves out. Kent McRae and Sue, and they celebrated my birthday, which was September 15th, a couple of days either before or after when the show actually started in 1967 in September. So it worked out great. And all the marvelous actors that I worked with there, Pat Hangle, just a number of them, Alejandro Rey, Ricardo Montalban, of course. And it just Barbara Luna I work with,
Yeah,
and just a number of different wonderful people.
I mean, you've had an amazing career, like I said earlier, and your body of work is so incredible.
I appreciate that.
And I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm an actor myself, and if I had 1/10 of your career, I wouldn't have to, really. It was throughout your body of work. Was there ever an actor you always wanted to work with and never did?
I would have liked to have worked with Orson Welles and Paul Muni.
Good answer.
Paul Muni, I remember seeing a lot of his shows on Warner Brothers, and he did, at the time that he was one of the top actors in the country, he was doing a lot of shows for Warner Brothers. Louis Pasteur and Emile Zola. He did a lot of historical characters, and Wells, because of his creativity. And then when I see Citizen Kane again, it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot.
Rosebud.
Yeah, and then you see some shows that he did where he wasn't the main star, but he was always outstanding, and he could get hammy, and which was wonderful because I figured that I could get hammy too.
I forget the movie. There was a Mexican detective with was it Burt Lancaster? I forget the name of the movie. Yes, I forget the name of the movie.
With him.
Yes. He played the
Yes.
Great
absolutely.
movie. Absolutely. Great. I could talk to you for hours, Henry. We really could. We could take a walk down memory lane with you. And this has been such a joy for me. And
thank you.
I mean, from the bottom of my heart, folks, the great Henry Darrow. Please visit his website. Please pick up his book, Henry Darrow, Lightning in the Bottle at Henry Darrow.
Life with the Bottle.
Yeah, Life in the Bottle.
Drinking. Life
with the Bottle. Yeah, that's your follow-up. But this has been an absolute joy for me.
Oh, a pleasure, Mike.
God bless you.
Thank
God
you
bless
so
you.
much.
Continued success. Thank you so much, Henry. Bye-bye.